takes great resolve, great determination, and great courage, because you know that there's going to be adversity in the process of achieving either goal.
So Howard, touchdown!
When it starts getting tough, you have to dig in deeper. The ice picks for us symbolizes that every man has to dig in deep and find some kind of way to get to the summit.
Down the middle, wide open, touchdown!
Lou depended on the people that tried to climb Mount Everest with him. He trusted them with his life. I trust each and every one of my teammates, and they trust me with winning a Big Ten championship.
Intercepted!
This is our opportunity to show everyone that Michigan is back as a true power.
They are relentless.
The air is very thin. You know, we're going to have to suck up the pain. We're going to have to get together to reach the top of this mountain.
He's got one man to beat.
This team, the men and the coaches, the summit is November 22nd.
And each one of the Michigan players were issued their own pick as they pondered their plight and their way through the season, and so far, so good. But those are the Ohio State Buckeyes knocking on the front door, and they come in with a world of incentive to knock the Michigan Wolverines off their unbeaten season. The world knows that Ohio State has come to this game the last 2 years undefeated and lost. Only one loss this year, ranked number 4 in the nation. They have rolled big numbers since that 4-point loss over at Penn State, and right now the Bucs believe they can play with anybody. Well, we are about to find out. And here are the Michigan Wolverines. They're undefeated. They're 10-0, ranked first in the AP poll, second in the coaches poll. The last time Michigan was voted a National Football Championship was 1948. And hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, along with Bob Greasy. Lynn Swan is on the field. We turn now to a quarterback to talk about defense. What does a quarterback know about defense? Well, he's the guy looking down the barrel at it all day.
Well, a quarterback, that's the first thing he looks at. And the first thing I see are 2 darn good defenses in the top 5 in the nation. The quarterbacks today are outstanding. For Ohio State, Stanley Jackson and Joe Germain could probably start for most of the teams in the Big Ten. The key for them today is time to throw the football. For Michigan, Brian Greasy has been outstanding. The leadership and the poise the last few weeks has really been there, Keith. But for him, the offensive line and the running game are key to Michigan. And it's going to be one of those games that you love. It's going to get back down to the big uglies in the trenches.
That's right. Well, here's a fellow who has more than a handshaking acquaintance with some of the better cornerbacks across recent history of football, Lynn Swan.
Well, Keith, this is a game and a matchup between David Boston and Charles Woodson that I've been looking for all year long, and every scout, every receiver and defensive back wants to see this matchup. Let's talk about number 2 for Michigan, Charles Woodson, All-American Heisman Trophy candidate. He has 6 interceptions. He breaks up passes. He makes tackle, and he intimidates teams from throwing consistently to his side of the field. On the other side, David Boston wearing number 9. He has 67 receptions and 13 touchdowns. This young man has all the gifts. He has deceptive speed because he lopes along. He goes up for the ball, and he's issued a challenge. He mentioned Woodson's name. And to Woodson, that means he's got to go after him, Keith.
The weather, well, it's winter in Ann Arbor. It's gray, it's cold, but it's relatively dry. John Cooper sends his kicking team out. And John Cooper, you see the numbers. He has not had a lot of luck against Michigan, but he's had enormous success otherwise. 10 wins in 4 of the last 5 years. Lloyd Carr, who stepped up from defensive coordinator to become the head coach at Michigan, his 3-year record is outstanding. He's yet to lose to Ohio State as a head coach. This is one of those days for an old friend whose voice rang across this countryside, Bob Ufer. Being remembered this weekend by so many as a recording of his memories have come out. And on a day like this, he would be higher than the biggest mountain in the world. It's kicked deep. Michigan's Anthony Thomas returning it. And he shakes 1, shakes 2. He's got a big return all the way out to the 45-yard line before the kicker, Dan Stoltz, knocks him out of bounds.
And Keith, what Michigan did is they faked the reverse Charles Woodson, number 2, is going to come from the left side of the screen. I don't see any Buckeyes that really went with Woodson, but the fake was there, and Thomas with a big return.
Thomas broke that one tackle that got him started, and once he got out in the open, he's a big guy, 229 yards, a 43-yard return, the longest of the year for Michigan. From the 45-yard line, the ball is handed off to Chris Howard, and Howard is taken down by Kevin Johnson, an outside linebacker. The Chile starting lineup for the Michigan Wolverines offense across the front. They could dictate the pace of this game. Tackle Jeff Backus, deemed last week. He's back in there okay. The receivers, wide out Streets and Shaw, had a good outing at Wisconsin. Running back, good receiver, Clarence Williams. He's still out. I'll give you the backs in a moment. It is second down, 11. The ball is thrown to the outside to Chris Howard. Howard gets it up across the line of scrimmage all right, but then takes a wicked lick from Antoine Winfield, a cornerback who is the number 2 tackler on the Ohio State defense. The Michigan backfield with Brian Greasy, who's been remarkably steady. Chris Howard has been like a loose lightning bolt over the last couple of weeks. He has really been playing well. But here they come to what they don't want to do. They're in 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. The pass is away. The pass is incomplete. It was on the hands of the tight end Jeremy Truman, but Gary Berry hit him a solid lick just as the ball arrived, and Michigan will have to punt.
Jeremy Truman is the 2nd leading receiver. The Wolverines like to go to their tight ends. Berry, Fred Pugic, alerting his defensive backs, look for the tight ends.
Jason Benson gets a high hanging kick away, averaging just under 40. It hits at the 5 and bounds into the end zone. Ohio State will possess the ball out at the 20 for their first snap on offense. The Chile starting lineup for the Ohio State Buckeyes across the front. The coaches had to rebuild that unit. 3 sophomores and a redshirt freshman, tackle to tackle. The receivers, definitely a strength position for the Buckeyes. Boston and Miller, 2 of the best in the conference. In the backfield, the quarterback combination of Jackson and Jermaine will be interesting today against the pressure of the Michigan defense. So Jermaine stands on the sideline as usual. Stanley Jackson is in to take the first snap of the ball game for the Buckeyes, and he drops back to show pass. And will pull it down and take off for 2 yards. He was looking around. He looked for Boston. Boston deep. He was not available. The Michigan defense across the front. This group could determine the ball game, especially the defensive end, Steele and Williams. The linebackers, what the front guys have missed, these people clean up. Number 93, Sam Sword, is broad. Deanna Jones, the rapier. The defensive backs, cornerbacks, Woodson and Weathers will be busy. Hendricks is back from a mild injury. Marcus Ray is a hitter, could have a big day today. It is second down and 8. Jackson rolling to the left. Steele's after him. He got a block around the corner, and he is quick to pull it down and take off, and that's the dimension that worries every defensive team. And he is about 2 yards short of his first down.
Keith, some early observations about the Buckeyes. The first 2 offensive plays, both pass plays. And both pass plays were designed to get outside, not stay in the pocket, but get the quarterback outside. The receivers were covered. Stanley had to run the football.
It is 3rd and 2 from the 28-yard line. Jackson hands it inside. Play is big. Pepe Pearson blows it all the way to the 45-yard line before Tommy Hendricks can bring him down, and there was a big hole on the right side of center.
Nice spike by the fullback, Matt Keller, Keith, getting him free in the hole. From behind, the advantage of the timeout made sure that Ohio State had a good play. 3rd and short, big first down.
The well-advertised wideouts yet to see the ball. Pepe Pearson has come into a wide position, and Jackson back looking around, has time and throws, and dropped by David Boston. Let's check with our colleague Lynn Swan about field conditions.
Well, Keith, all things considered, the fact that Michigan hasn't been on this field for 3 weeks, it's actually in terrible condition. It's hard because it was frozen. There's a hole in the middle of the field. It looks like you could drive a Jeep into and park it for a week. Now, the tarp doesn't cover the entire field. So the Michigan sideline is a little wet there. It doesn't cover the end zone, so both end zones, the grass is a little bit longer. It's wet, it's lying down. If a receiver or back is running along the back of the end zone, he might slip on this. But this is a hard field. Traction is not going to be great, Keith.
All right, Swanee, 2nd down and 10. Blitz coming. Doesn't work. They got it off, gave it to Keller. Jackson felt the blitz, saw the blitz, took the blow, but handed the ball to his fullback and was slow to get up, but Keller saved the day.
This is great timing. Dhani Jones times it perfectly, but Stanley Jackson just dishes the ball off just in the nick of time. Prevented a fumble, Keith. If Dhani Jones had been there a second sooner, it could have been a fumble. Michigan defense tops in the nation in several categories.
3rd down and 8. Shotgun for Ohio State. They flush it. He's dangerous outside, but he won't get his first down. He hit the chalk at about the Michigan 49-yard line.
Well, there was nobody open downfield, Keith, and this is the extra dimension that Stanley brings. Here's a look at Boston and Woodson on the outside. He's just standing there. Now they're fighting. They were saying some stuff early in the week. Boston said it, and then Woodson back at him. They're just getting some frustration, and it's good that they get rid of that early in the game.
It's amazing, though, it didn't get a flag.
Yeah, exactly. Settle down and play football.
Bartholomew is the punter for Ohio State, and a good one. He's averaging better than 45 yards per punt. Charles Woodson is waiting for it. That's a high, long kick that goes into the end zone. So it'll go in the books at 49 yards. The clock shows 10:33 to play first quarter. And there is no score in this 94th meeting between Michigan and Ohio State. Music ringing across the festival in Ann Arbor. And they, I'm sure, will push toward a record crowd. Over 1,000 credentials for the media. Buckeyes show 5 men up front. Give the ball to Chris Howard. And Howard gets 3 yards. Damon Moore, number 13, strong safety, gets up there in a hurry, and he was there involved in that one.
Brian versus the last 7 ranked opponents that Michigan has played. Doing a nice job.
High streets way wide to the top of the picture. Greasy throws underneath to Howard. Howard going to the sidelines. Great lateral pursuit, and if there is anything that Ohio State can do, those linebackers will go sideline to sideline as well as anybody. And it was Katzenmoyer first to get to him.
And when you stop to think that Katzenmoyer is 6'4" and 260, he's a middle linebacker, 260. He runs 4'6".
And the other one out there was 35, Rudzinski.
Katzenmoyer is just a young teenager. Keith, he's only 19 years old.
And says he is going to be playing at Ohio State next year. Cleared that up. It's 3rd down and 2 now for Michigan. Little short pass thrown hard, trying to get it to Charles Woodson, and it was Katzenmoyer and Moore who broke it up.
Katzenmoyer in particular, Keith. Ryan's looking to the outside. Katzenmoyer sees it and gets back. All they wanted to do was pick up the first down, and Andy stopped them from doing it.
All right, Benson is in for his 3rd punt. 53 and 35 on the first 2. David Boston is waiting. He's standing back at his own 35-yard line and now walking up more. So if he handles it, Ohio State should have very good field position again. And that's going to be accepted at the 40-yard line by Boston. He's hit down at the 43-yard line, and it's Aaron Shea for the 2nd time making the tackle. Ohio State State's had very good field position from the outset in this first quarter. 4:16 remaining. They accept this possession at the 43. Jackson continues as the quarterback. Give the ball to Pepe Pearson. And Pearson, who's had a couple of good runs, and that field's starting to break up a little bit now as these running backs make their cuts. He's out to the near the 47 before Tommy Hendricks makes the tackle.
Ohio State offensively in the Big Ten, they're the #1 passing team, and averaging 33 points per game. Keith, early on in this game, if anybody has shown some life, it's been Ohio State. They've made some first downs, except for the opening kickoff by Michigan. The Wolverines really haven't done anything.
Woodson and Boston squared off on the near sideline. Jackson looked for Boston, comes back to look for him again. He's got all day, and finally Sweat goes after him, and the pass is completed to D. Miller for a first down. So there was utterly no pressure on Jackson. He had a week to look around, and he finally found Miller.
Well, and there was nobody open. It was a 3-man route. Everybody went down about 5 yards and stopped. And when the ball didn't come their way, they just stood there, and nobody was pressuring Stanley. So he's covered initially. Finally, somebody got after the quarterback and forced him to throw it.
It's first down for the Buckeyes at the Michigan 45. The pressure being put on now by Ohio State from good field position. And it is Pepe Pearson slashing up the middle. And they're opening some holes in the middle of that Michigan defense. Marcus Ray and Deanna Jones combined for that tackle. But they've taken Rennis out of the middle, and Steele and Williams, Josh Williams, yet to be heard from.
Murphy and Gilbert, 64. Fullback does a nice job of getting a piece of Sam Sword, 93. It's all you want, Keith. 5 or 6 yards on first down running plays. You'll take that anytime.
You get 6 yards on first down, you're going to win the ball game. Second down and 3. This is Pearson again. That's another first down. He's belted out of bounds by Tommy Hendricks, but moved the chains.
The wide receiver on that side came back. He did a nice job of cracking back. A little tossed. Duffy, 9 touchdowns this year, averaging 66 yards a game. He's had 14 career games over 100 yards.
Rob Sweat, linebacker, came off, kind of holding his hip. Oppenheimer goes back in to replace him. Pearson's carried 5 times now for 42 yards. First down Buckeyes at the Michigan 33. Jackson dropped it. Yep. Got it. Glenn Steele covers the ball. Eric Wilson got into the backfield, messed up the play, knocked the ball loose, and Glenn Steele recovered it.
Take a look at the replay. Going to be a little bit reversed. He's going to hand it back. The fullback grabbed it out of Stanley's hands. The Buckeyes have lost more fumbles, 17, than any team in the Big Ten this year.
Yeah, that's a total of, what, 30 now that they put on the ground, and they've lost it 17 times. And yet they're ranked 4th in the nation. On first down from the 43-yard line, it is Chris Howard. There isn't any daylight there. He gets 1 yard, and it's Winfield Garnett, that big 305-pound tackle from Riverdale, Illinois, that nailed him down. 2:15 to play in the first quarter. Both these teams are too good for the other side to help them. They don't need any help.
Yeah.
You start laying it on the ground or giving it away on turnovers, you're going to get beaten.
Too good defensively.
Yes.
So, yeah, exactly right.
Second down.
Illegal!
9. Joe Blitz coming. Reese steps away, gets his pass off. It is by Jeremy Truman, the tight end. That's a heck of a catch by Truman. Wow.
It's a nice job by Bryan staying in the pocket and waiting. The linebacker comes up the middle, and he jumps out of his tackle, waits for the receiver to get there. Truman and gets the ball to him. This could be a play, Keith, that gets Michigan off the schneid. They've been 3 and out the first 3 possessions.
This is their first down. It is at the Ohio State 39-yard line. That was Kevin Johnson that almost got the sack. And they go back inside with a run. Chris Howard, and again, there's just nothing there. He'll get 2 yards on that carry. One of the reasons they're not getting much running room in there is that those linebackers, Johnson and those 2 in particular, Johnson and Katzenmoyer, step up and plug a hole. And when those 2 guys plug it, it's plugged.
Well, and Freddie Puckich, the defensive coordinator, one thing he wants to do is stop the Michigan run. You know, get 8 guys up there if you have to, but stop them and force them to throw. Here they come.
Thomas is the running back. He's at the top of the picture, probably the hot. Greasy sack taken down by number 1, Gary Berry. So they brought everybody, including the Poodle, and they got him back at the 46-yard line.
You can see everybody walk up into the line of scrimmage, but here is Berry over here. He's the free safety. Watch him as he's going to come in, as Brian's going to turn his back to him. There was 2 guys there for Floyd to block. He picked the outside one, and the biggest one, I might add. Maybe he was trying to do Brian a favor. Says, I'm going to pick the biggest one, let the littlest one go.
Thomas, the back in motion, throw it out there to him. Here he comes back on the inside. Can't break that first tackle. The key to that play is you break the first tackle. By then you've got help. But it didn't work. He's taken down at about the 42-yard line, and we've played a quarter with no score. Jason Benson in for his 4th kick of the day. His first one was the best. The other 2 have been 35 and 33. And waiting for it is David Boston for Ohio State. Damon Moore drops back to block for him, give him a little help, a little convoy up the field. They're going to try to chuck the speedsters up, keep them away from him, so you'll have a chance to catch it, but there's going to be pretty good coverage here, and he's going to leave it go. It's short. Now it starts to roll back up the field, and there's a penalty flag on the field. Well, Stanley Jackson played the first quarter, and Jermaine comes on to start the second, and Ohio State will have the football first down at their own 17-yard line.
The difference is, for Michigan defensively, not as much threat of scrambling around and running around, but Jermaine is a pinpoint passer. He is outstanding.
And he's throwing on first down. And it is incomplete. Intended for David Boston. Andre Weathers just went up over the top and slapped the ball out. Clean play by Weathers.
Plain and simple, just a stop route right in front of him. Weathers comes, makes a good play. Only a 2-man route. They sent the 2 wide receivers out on the 2 corners. He threw away from Woodson to Boston, and Weathers made the play. Jim Herman said Weathers has been doing that all year long.
Second down and 10. Wisniewski, the tight end, is moving. And the ball is given to Pearson. And Pearson will get it out to about the 20-yard line for 3 yards. Here's Smoney.
Well, Keith, in the first quarter, the matchup between Woodson and Boston hasn't materialized the way we thought it would, but they've been very physical. Woodson is on him, making sure he makes the contact, and then Weathers, look at Boston going right back after him. All right, you're going to have a little bit of this. Now on the other side, Weathers, he's not going to let him go without making him pay a price. Right now, David Boston is a frustrated receiver, needs to pull back a little bit, Keith, and play his ball game. It is definitely going to be physical, but he has to keep his head on his shoulders.
Yeah, he's going to get a flag if he keeps swinging, keeps punching. Out of the shotgun, Jermaine with a little extra time, lets it go down the sidelines, and D. Miller was held up over there by Weathers and had no chance. And so in the first possession with Jermaine at quarterback, it's 3 and out.
Go ahead and run the telestrator. Go ahead and run it. There's nobody open. Run it downfield. Now he's ready to throw. Stop it right here. Nobody's open. Nobody down here. Nobody is open. That's what Joe Jermaine was looking at.
And so he threw it away, and it's punting time for Bartholomew. Brent has 2 kicks so far, 49 and 38. Charles Woodson is waiting. Michigan should get its best field position out of this reception. But this Bartholomew is
he's a weapon.
Oh my goodness. Back to the 22-yard line goes Woodson, and now he's tracked down and tackled at about the 28-yard line by Kevin Griffin. That was a 55-yard punt by Bartholomew and a 3-yard return. First down from the 38-yard line for Michigan. 8:28 to go in a scoreless ball game in the first half. Greasy's pass is completed to the tight end, Aaron Shea. And Shea, who has been battered some, makes a play, drops a shoulder, and does some punishing of his own.
This is a play, the playbook, Michigan playbook we showed a little earlier. Brian faking to the running back, going one way and rolling out. Ohio State is ready for this play, Keith, but like I say, Shea made the reception, and nothing is going to be easy. Shea at the left of your screen. Right there. I mean, Moore, Damon Moore, 13, they're looking for it.
Last time they met, Moore decked him with a wicked shot to the head. This time, Shea won. This is Chris Howard getting what appears to be a first down before Winfield comes up and nails him. I figure I've got Winfield, Michigan with 24 plays, and Winfield has had 7 tackles now and broken up 5 passes. That's not bad.
Like you say, he's 5'9", 180 pounds, and his primary job is to cover the speed guys on the outside.
He was crafted from an old anvil.
Yes.
Tied together with hamstrings. 7:59 to go. First down, Michigan. Greasy, a little play action. Got a lot of time out of it. Passes away, and it's incomplete. He was looking downfield for Tuman, and Tuman had broken it off, and it was overthrown. Here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, I just kind of wanted to give you my take on Antoine Whitfield as a cornerback now. He's small. He's not going to challenge a lot of the receivers at the line of scrimmage. What he tends to do, let them come off, watch the play develop, and then break on the ball, break on the receiver, inflicting the hit. But he also watches the backfield so he can come up and make the run stop. You know, you compare him to Woodson. Woodson's bigger. He's got great speed. He challenged the receivers more at the line of scrimmage, Keith.
Winfield right now has got the bigger numbers. This is Anthony Thomas, and he's caught behind the line of scrimmage. Number 68, Winfield Garnett. The big tackle made that penetration. He got a hand on him.
Well, if you're an offensive person, you're not wild about this graphic. Only 79 yards each team, and we're midway through the second quarter. It's been a defensive game up to this point.
You've got Charles Woodson in the ball game now, along with Kevin Bryant. That's 2 and 22. Shaw and Street stay in, so you effectively have 4 wide receivers now on the field out of the shotgun formation. Good blocking up front, giving Greasy time to throw down the middle to Woodson. Woodson on the run, and tripped from behind. A touchdown-saving tackle by Antoine Winfield.
He's going to go down and come to the center of the field. Key here is the protection. He has enough time to throw. He moves around a little bit. Now Winfield's the bottom of your screen. If he doesn't make this tackle, Woodson's in the end zone.
Yep. Well, that's 8 tackles. First down, Michigan at the Ohio State 16-yard line. Run it with Chris Floyd. Inside the 5. Down to the 1. Damon Moore finally wrestled big Chris Floyd down. He's 231 pounds, and he's a load.
This is the play that sets it up. Chris Floyd, Keith, when you could just see when he gets through the line, he's a fullback that blocks a line. Says, no safety is going to take me down short of where I want to get. He's just holding on for some friends.
First and goal. Ball to Thomas. Touchdown.
the pass to Charles Woodson that made that drive.
Craig Baker for the extra point. And it's good. And so 6:22 to play in the first half. Michigan gets the lead 7-0. Michigan, the scoring drive, 62 yards, 7 plays. The big play was the pass to Woodson down the middle, and followed by a big run by Anthony Thomas scoring, but it was the big fullback Chris Floyd that got it close. This ball is taken by Kenyon Rambo, a wide receiver, a freshman, dancing up the sideline to about the 26-yard line. Wolverines leading 7-0. Ohio State with the ball. First down at the 26-yard line. Joe Germain, the quarterback for the Buckeyes. Deep man is Wiley. Boston is still quiet. This is Wiley. Not much. Number 91, Josh Williams, got in first. Fizel was there to help. Second down, 9. Germain hit behind the line of scrimmage by Joaquin Fizel, number 90.
Here's Fizel right here. It's going to be a slow fake, and he's going to get in there. Anytime you delay anything in the backfield against Michigan, nobody blocks him. He pulls. Fizel reads it nicely, and it's a big sack. I tell you, when you fool around in the secondary against this Michigan defensive line the way they're rushing, you're taking a big chance.
It is 3rd and 20 after Fizel's sack. Ball at the 17. Woodson and Boston at the bottom of the picture. They go the other way with it. And Matt Keller, the fullback, will get it out to about the 23-yard line, and the Buckeyes will have to punt. And it's Fizel who makes the big play in that defensive series. And once again, Michigan should come out of this with very good field position. So, as we've noted already, Bartholomew is special.
In a field position game, a good punter like Bartholomew is priceless.
Snap is low, but he gets it out all right. Oh, my goodness, look at this. He runs Woodson all the way back to the 22-yard line. Woodson's got one block, got another block, one more, and he's gone. Touchdown, no flag. Craig Baker for the point. Blocked it. Katzenmoyer has it. Rumbling down the sideline. Sweat finally takes him down. Andy Katzenmoyer almost scored
2 points.
2 points after blocking the extra point try.
Here's a look at the punt return. You know, Keith, Woodson has not returned a punt for more than 15 or 20 yards all season long. In fact, Shaw had done a better job of it, but this time he breaks some tackles. The only guy that can break tackles for Winfield gets blocked on the punt return, and the speed of Woodson's going to carry him through this one. Leandre
Brown was the number 18 man who made that last block that freed him. And And it's 13-0 as they finally track down. Gets it. Boy, Andy his tank got a little empty down around the 20-yard line, and they finally caught him.
And the reason that was a big play is because in college football, if you block an extra point try, the defense can run it back and score 2 points if they get to the end zone. That's what Andy was going for.
Well, Feely did place kicking, Jay Feely, last week up at Wisconsin.
Yeah, after had a kick blocked by Baker.
Here's Feely kicking it off. Ball is fielded at the 10-yard line by Michael Wiley. And he brings it up to about the 25-yard line. And there's a penalty flag thrown at the 10-yard line. John Cooper 171 in his 10 years against these Michigan Wolverines.
That's true, Keith, but he's 35-4 over his last 39 games. And although he's not done well against Michigan, he has been first or second in the Big Ten the last 5 years and won a Rose Bowl last year.
I have no idea what the holdup is. Finally, they decide, well, let's play. And here we go from the 5-yard line, first down. Wiley out of the end zone. Finds some daylight. Michael Wiley runs it out of the trouble. Gets it all the way across the 20 and out to about the 24. James Whitley, the tackle for Michigan. It's first down, Ohio State. 35 seconds to go in the half.
So look at the pits. Walter, number 77, does a nice job.
Yeah, he got Glenn Steele turned inside.
Yeah, I think Steele was slanting in there anyway, Keith.
Just let him go. Used his own momentum. Jermaine.
Little dash route, a dash for the quarterback, get outside the pocket.
Now he's across the line of scrimmage by 3 yards. Charles Woodson defending on Boston, but Joe was across the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball.
There are multiple fouls on the play, both against the offense. Ineligible receiver, downfield, illegal forward pass.
Illegal forward pass, that's loss of down, right?
Yeah, I don't think it matters. There's only 18 seconds left in the half, and they're going to be backed up. So John Cooper may just, well, they may try one more time, try to get it to Wiley or Boston, and let's see if they can break it, split something down the middle. It's got to be frustrating for offensively for this team. They're averaging 33 points a game coming in, and they're going to be shut out here in the first half, it looks like.
Wisconsin is over at Penn State today. A meaningful ball game in the Big Ten. It's first down and 15 now. I'm not sure why they accepted that particular penalty, but
just pushing back.
It's tougher. That's a takedown on Matt Keller at about the 20-yard line, and that's going to run out the clock. So Michigan has no turnovers, only one penalty in the first half. 2 bang-bang plays, and they lead at halftime over the Ohio State Buckeyes by a score of 13-0. Now, here's John Saunders. Back for the second half of the Michigan-Ohio State game. Buckeyes stifled in the first half. Michigan leading 13-0 at the break.
As you look at the statistics to the first half, only the numbers anywhere. The passing yards for Michigan, 118, and return yards, that's including that 78-yard punt return for a touchdown. Ohio State far below their offensive averages.
Antoine Winfield, the cornerback on the other team, had an impressive first half. Oh, did he ever. He's credited with 9 tackles. That does not include the passes broken up and all manner of other things that he contributed to.
He has been everywhere.
Including stripping the ball one time into a fumble.
Stanley Jackson looks like he's going to be starting. He is the emotional leader, the captain of this team, saying a few words there to David Boston.
Jay Feely kicks it off for Michigan, and the Buckeyes now ready to go in the second half, down by 13 points. This is Rambo, the freshman speedster wide receiver, working his way back to about the 28-yard line before James Whitley brings him down. Now Lynn's one.
Well, Keith, football is always a game of adjustments, and both teams are going to attempt to make some adjustments here in the second half. But let's go back to the first half and watch number 42. That's Kevin Griffin. He's on special teams. He comes down, makes a great tackle. But the next time, they double him up. They make an adjustment. What's the difference? The difference is Charles Woodson goes for a touchdown because he can't get there in time. Both teams looking to make the fine adjustments in the second half to get their offensive units, Keith, more productive.
All right, Jackson settles in at quarterback on first down at the 28-yard line. You have a single back, and Jackson runs a quarterback draw. So they start with a quarterback draw, and it's good for about 6 yards as Deonnie Jones makes the tackle. As I said, Michigan is undefeated, ranked number 1 in the AP. The coaches have them number 2, Ohio State number 4. There's big bucks bowls waiting for both these teams. And Gary Dorn, the president of the Tournament of Roses, is here with a bundle of roses. In case Michigan wins the ball game, the Wolverines would lock up the ticket to Pasadena. Second down and 3. And this is Pearson being caught behind the line of scrimmage by Andre Weathers, who plays the boundary corner position for Michigan, and he gets nothing out of the play.
Rob Sweat coming up doing a nice job. It's interesting. John Cooper deciding to go back to Stanley Jackson. I think that's a good move, Keith. Stanley Jackson got some things going in the first 3 possessions. They at least crossed midfield every time that Stanley was in the game.
It is third and a long 3 now for the Buckeyes. Blitzing. Gets it away, incomplete. It was intended for the tight end Lumpkin, and Ohio State starts the second half pretty much the same way they played the first half.
The tight ends, especially John Lumpkin, is not where Ohio State wants to throw the football. They want to throw it to their wide receivers or their backs, and that was a good defense by Michigan.
So in is Bartholomew. He will have his 7th punt now, with Charles Woodson dropping back to accept it for Michigan. And Charles giving him a little more room now that he's experienced the Boomers. And they fake it. And it goes up the middle with Rudzinski, the linebacker, a blocker there. And Rudzinski runs it up the pipe and picks up a first down for Ohio State.
It's a big call by John Cooper, and a momentum thing, something to get you going.
So they snap it crooked and short, and Rudzinski runs for a big play for the Buckeyes.
Well, here's Rudzinski. Go ahead and run it. Right up the middle. That's a nice call by John Cooper, and you do that, Keith, if you've got pretty good field position. That was pretty good field position, but if that didn't work, that would have given Michigan awfully good field position going the other way. But it worked, and it's a great call.
John's up against it. He's got to get something going.
Exactly.
20-yard pickup on the play. That's their longest run of the day. Hand the ball off to Pearson, and Pearson is caught and finally dragged down about the 40-yard line. Tommy Hendricks, 41, had a hold of him and held him until Marcus Ray got there to help. That's good for 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Something new, a little hurry-up offense. I like this.
And now Jackson calls his play. And it's Pepe Pearson wiggling around over the right side and getting across the 35, inside the 35 for a first down. Deonnie Jones, the tackle.
You look at the pit, the offensive line doing a nice job. The fullback, 23, gets a nice block there. Matt Keller. Fullbacks in this game don't get a lot of credit, Keith. They both do a lot of the dirty work, the blocking, catch a few passes.
So from the 35 now for the Buckeyes. Jackson drop, throws it. He's got Miller. And Miller has a first down for Ohio State inside the 10 in front of Charles Woodson.
They showed the start of an option, and then Jackson steps back. Watches, he's going to go down the line. It's an option look. Holds the linebackers and then throws it over. That's a good call by Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator.
It's first and goal, Ohio State at the Michigan 9-yard line. Buckeyes trailing 13-0. Keller. And Matt will have a couple. Tommy Hendricks and Josh Williams. Williams had the big penetration, forcing him to change direction. Touchdown.
Teams have not been inside Michigan's 20-yard line that often, only 15 times.
Wisniewski, a tight end, brings the play in for Ohio State. Boston coming to the bottom of the picture. Jackson throws in the middle. There by Woodson.
There's a look from the left side. Stanley Jackson did not see this the whole way. He was looking to the outside and came back. You can't go that straight up field down there. D. Miller was going too far straight up the field, and Woodson cut underneath him.
And got his 7th interception of the year to lead the Big Ten Conference from the 20-yard line, Chris Floyd. And knocked down just short of the 20, Andy Katzenmoyer. It's remarkable how well he goes laterally. You just can hardly run around the man.
Katzenmoyer.
Yes. You've got to put a solid block on him or he'll track you down.
Most teams try to run right at him. Keith, he's 260, but you'd say, well, you don't want to run at somebody that big, but his quickness and going around in. The disappointment. Ohio State had some good going, and then the disappointment of taking it away.
That's Anthony Thomas out of Winfield, Louisiana, carrying, and Rudzinski steps up here to get a tackle. Woodson now has 17 interceptions in his career. And in case it's part of your conversation, chances are yes, he'll be playing on Sunday next year.
Well, you know that Lloyd Carr hopes not, but I think, well, I don't know. I'm not going to say. Certainly has had a great career at Michigan.
Certainly has. 3rd down and 10.
Here they come.
It's away and it's incomplete. Ty Streets is begging for a little help from one of the men wearing the striped shirt, saying he was being mugged, but he doesn't get any sympathy.
I think he was throwing that to the tight end who was covered, just threw it away, yeah.
But Streets was being mugged.
Yeah. Well, Ohio State's going to get great field position back after this punt, Keith.
4th down. And the kick is away by Benson. It's a high one, but it's not too long, and Boston drifts under it with fair catch ball at his own 44, 45-yard line, and there they will start. So that's very good field position after a 36-yard punt by Jason Benson. Well, there's Antoine Winfield. All he needs to do is get over on the other side a little bit. Back goes Jackson. And he's got a problem. Still struggling, now throws it in. Intercepted. He threw it right to Andre Weather, and Weathers will score a touchdown. Oh, that could be a will breaker.
two passes that Stanley Jackson has thrown were the first two passes he had intercepted this year. In fact, he had thrown 150 coming into the game without an interception.
Baker's in for the point. Drake better get this one in the air. He'll become a spectator again. That one's up and through. It's Feely. Feely, all right. Feely, 49, getting that kick. Okay. So Craig Baker had one blocked, and that got him on the bench last week, and Feely comes right on this week and does the same thing. But here's the interception, the struggle, the eternal effort, trying to do more than you can, and he was in the grasp of Sam Sword, tried to deliver the ball, simply couldn't do it, and it went right into the stomach of Andre Weathers, who swallowed it. Michigan has scored on a 1-yard run, a 78-yard punt return, and a 44-yard interception return, and lead 20-0. The kickoff to Rambo at the 1. To the 16, and that'll do it. DeAndre Brown belted in. So Ohio State trailing 20-0 with 6:04 to play in the third quarter. Will start at their own 28-yard line. It's Joe Germain at quarterback. It's Pepe Pearson with the ball. Marcus Ray and company. Second down and 4 for Ohio State. Germain looking to throw it. It's Miller. Miller's got the first down. Moves the ball out to the 44-yard line.
That's the first down for Joe Germain in this ball game.
Had time to look around. Hard to complete passes on your back.
Well,
or with a big old 300-pounder in your face trying to kill you.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, they have confidence in Joe Germain to bring him back, Keith. I mean, he's done it before. I remember the Rose Bowl game last year where he was the most valuable player.
David Boston still has no receptions. Going big. Yeah, he's got one. Oh, my goodness. He turns around and taunts Charles Woodson. And he's going to take a flag for it. He caught the ball. He almost dropped that one, but he finally caught it. And the official on that side was right there, and as he taunted him, he threw the flag.
Single coverage. He just going to run right by him. Woodson is beat. Now he catches up and doesn't find the ball. Germain gets it out there, and David brings it in.
Oh, the officials have huddled now as to what to do about this. Here's the call. Unsportsmanlike conduct call against Ohio State.
And that comes on the extra point try.
Now Cooper is going to lay down some business to him on this.
And he's telling him right now, you can't do that. We're behind.
Well, it took away the dignity and class of the moment.
Well, that's true also.
On the offense,
very true.
15 yards on the try. The touchdown is good.
He had a great play. He had the touchdown of the ball game, and he tarnished it.
Right.
Dan Stoltz has a big leg. 35 yards. It's good. And so at 4:50 to play in the third quarter, it's now 28-7. And like Yoke said, ain't over till it's over. Stoltz will kick off now for the Buckeyes at 4:50 to play in the third quarter. This youngster's got a big leg. Yard deep in the end zone for Anthony Thomas. And Thomas is back to the 18-yard line. Blitz coming. It's Moore, and they run it inside. Moore can't quite get there in time. And that blitzer was almost offside. Chris Floyd working inside with it. Number 52 getting up kind of tenderly for Michigan. That'd be Chris Zeman.
This offense has been good all year in taking the ball and keeping it. To lead the Big Ten in time of possession, and that's exactly what they want to do.
2nd and 8.
It was a well-blocked.
Good blocking.
And this is what Michigan wants. They want to take some time off the clock. The defense has played a lot in the second half. They want to just take some time, get the ball down there, and if anything, at least get 3 on the board.
.250 to play in the third quarter. Thomas now 38 yards on 9 carries and 57 yards on 5 catches. John Jansen's now moved over to the left tackle spot. Dave Brandt's moved up into the guard spot, and Zeman's gone over to a tackle. Another loss of a body in that offensive front. That tackle is made by Kevin Johnson on Anthony Thomas, and he'll pick up a couple of yards on the play. So Michigan rolling the clock right now. Ohio State with 2 times out remaining. Just getting on the scoreboard with that long pass play to Boston from Joe Germain. It's a 20-7 ball game. And a missed extra point is why it's 20-7. Blocked. Second down and 7. Thomas again. Boy, that's tough stuff. He's got another first down at the Ohio State 46-yard line. He put his hat on Gary Barry and drove him back 3 yards.
But one of the reasons, Keith, is because they got Katzenmoyer and got him out of the play. Here's a look at Katzenmoyer right here. Play's going to eventually come right up at him. Mike DeBoard was telling us yesterday that they wanted to run right at him.
Aaron Shea, number 36, the tight end, got a good hit on him as they doubled him. And you almost have to double him. First down for the Wolverines. Tubin has been pretty quiet today so far. Made one great catch. That's a loss. Ball on the ground, and the fight's on, and it's Ohio State's football. So the Wolverines turn it over at midfield. It was Jim Bell that laid the lick that knocked it loose. Rodney Bailey covered it with his big body.
Eventually, keep your patience and poise, things will turn around for you. And right there, 2 of the defensive linemen in the backfield making the hit.
Well, Keith, Bob, I got to tell you, that was a courageous effort by the Michigan offensive line because they're hurting pretty badly. Jeff Backus is not playing in their form because of that ankle, and Zach Adamy, guys, he had to literally pull himself up off the ground after every play, and he limped off the field. Keith?
All right, it's first down just inside the 50-yard line. Wolverines try to blitz. They do. They get to Jermaine. They knock him down. Rob Renus stopped initially, fought his way through the pile, and sacked the Ohio State quarterback. They were trying to go big.
They were looking downfield, Keith. And because it took too long, 58 is Renus right in the middle of the screen. Watch him as he's going to roll out of the block of Gilbert, 64. Renus not known for rushing the passer. In fact, came in with only 3 sacks on the year.
Oh, it's a loss of very close to 10 yards. They're going to call it second down and 19. Put it back at the 40. This is Keller. And Steele and Williams get him. 81 Steele, 91 Josh Williams.
Michigan defense has only given up 3 touchdown passes on the year. Take a look at Steele from the other side of the field. He weighs 290 pounds, 6'5". He just hustling all over the place.
Into the third quarter. So it's 20-7, Michigan leading Ohio State. To the final quarter of play in this 94th renewal of Michigan-Ohio State, being played in Ann Arbor at Michigan Stadium. Michigan leads 20-7. Ohio State with the football, third down and 17. Jermaine on the shotgun. Boston gets his second catch of the day. in front of Ian Gold, but it is not a first down. So they'll have to punt on 4th and 3.
Well, they're lining up to punt. They ran the fake from their own 35-yard line, but I don't know if they do this twice in a row.
Woodson going deep for Bartholomew's kick.
Woodson
got it at the 10. Needs a little help. He's in trouble. And he's down at the 10. Boys are getting pretty feisty now. Officials have to get in the middle of it quickly. So we've got a timeout.
A new center in there for Michigan, Keith.
Had to do it because Adamy could barely stand up. The pass is away to the sidelines to Anthony Thomas from the 10-yard line. And he's out of bounds somewhere in the neighborhood of the 17-18.
What you got in there now for Michigan?
Oh, it's still Adamy.
Was it Adamy in there? Okay.
He can hardly move around, but he's in there. Well, if they have to take him out and he's got a strained muscle, then Steve Frazier's listed behind him, but it's possible that Jensen, I guess, could go.
Well, they've already moved 3 guys around that offensive line right now.
It's been a tough day on the offensive front. Ball is blocked by Greasy, and he'll take it and take the hit. Did not get off the snap cleanly.
Well, Adamy has a strained muscle in his lower back, and if he can't get the ball up right, then that's well, you do have to get him out of there.
They'll have to do something.
Yeah. Because that's the first thing that the center has to do is get the center quarterback exchange.
At 13.5 minutes to play, it's Michigan ball, 3rd down and 4, just outside their own 15. A punt from here is going to give Ohio State very good field position, and they're coming. The ball is loose. It is picked up by the Buckeyes, and it is down at about the 2-yard line. Jerry Rudzinski knocked the ball loose. Gary Berry knocked it loose, and Rudzinski covered it.
The thing that set this whole thing up, Keith, was the punt down inside the 10-yard line. And then Bryant trying to get some yardage outside. Berry is the free safety. He's in on a blitz, does a nice job of stripping. And Ohio State is right back in this ball game.
1st and goal to go at the 2-yard line. Number 35 is Rudzinski diving on it. At 13:12 to play in the ball game. And it very quickly can be a 20-14 ball game. Turnovers.
Good every time.
Yes, sir. Germain to Pearson. There's Rudzinski, who covered that fumble. There's the man who caused it. There's the man who scored the touchdown for the Buckeyes.
The emotions of the game, Keith, just a short while ago, Ohio State was down by 20. A big play to Boston, a turnover, and a touchdown. They're right back in it.
The punter, Bartholomew, holds for the extra point. Stoltz will kick it. The snapper is Kevin Hauser. Good. Just a 6-point ball game now with 13:08 to play. Buckeyes kick it off. Stoltz hammers it. Coming up on it is Anthony Thomas. And Thomas gets it out to about the 33-yard line. All right. Roll it out and throw it off the hands of Aaron Shea. Tight end.
Somebody's got to make a play for Michigan. They're losing their offensive players. Their left tackle, Backus, is out. Howard, the running back, and one of the seniors is out of the ball game. Adamy, the center, is struggling with a strain. The momentum is wearing a white shirt here right now, Pete.
Ray Jackson was in on that play as the single back. Now Anthony Thomas goes back in with Chris Floyd. So Ray Jackson comes out, and that puts Anthony Thomas back into the deep back position. Pass to the sidelines to Anthony Thomas, and a sure solid tackle by Antoine Winfield.
This young man is playing an outstanding game, Keith. If he doesn't make that tackle, the receiver can run up the field, take almost a first down. He's really playing a good game.
For a 180-pounder, I think it's been remarkable because he's taken on some big people.
Yeah, and his job is to cover the fast wide receivers. Charles Woodson, like Charles, he's in the ball game right now.
3rd down and 12. Trips at the top of the picture. They got him. Rodney Bailey, freshman defensive end. And he sacks Greasy, and it's 4th down, Michigan. So from a 13-0 lead at the break to a 20-0 just after the half. Here's Ohio State about to get the ball in probably pretty good field position. Benson's punt. Fair caught at the 26-yard line by David Boston. So if you are a Michigan fan, you might want to take a deep breath and hang on. That's Andy Katzenmoyer walking around. The Ohio State defense has been kind of taking control of this football game now and giving their offense some opportunities to move it. It's at the 27-yard line. 1st down, Ohio State. 9:58 to play in the game. Michigan 20, Ohio State 14. Joe Germain is the quarterback. That carry to Pepe Pearson. And it's good for 6 yards. The crowd today. New stadium record at Michigan Stadium. 106,982.
They're counting all the people up here in the press box, too.
They count everybody. And it goes in the books, and it'll be 2nd down and a short 5. This is Pearson. 2nd effort, close to a 1st down. I was reading through the Michigan scrapbook that I have, and I have one from Ohio State. Somebody put together, and they're fun to have. But it's incredible how Don Canham with marketing turned it, and with the success of Bo Schembechler as a coach and now Lloyd Carr, the crowds that they draw here. Pepe Pearson, tough back, senior. 3rd down, on the 1st down from the 37 now. For Ohio State, and that 1st down was solely the possession of Pearson. They blitz, they break it, and move the football again for a big gain by Pearson all the way to the 48-yard line. So the Buckeyes now are starting to blow some holes in the middle.
Well, Gilbert and Murphy, the right guard and center, and the fullback just gets a stalemate with Sam Sword right in. Right there, there's the stalemate with Keller and Sword. That's all you need. That's a got man for Keller.
So 1st down Buckeyes at their own 48. 8:45 to play in the game. They trail by 6. This is Pearson. Now you're getting Woodson out of the secondary and Weathers out of the secondary, and Hendricks coming up trying to stop the Ohio State running game.
Mentioned early on, the Michigan defense came in ranked #1 in the country. Well, they're up 6 points. They've got to stop Ohio State from moving down the field, but Ohio State is running right through them right now.
The middle of the Ohio State offensive front. redshirt freshman, and 3 sophomores. Second down and 3. This is Keller. And he's just short of his first down, or at least it seems so from where they've marked it. Pearson getting very close to 100 yards. He has 91, I believe it is. 7:40 to play in the game. And Ohio State just bumping it along, going in the right direction and going at a steady pace.
Time is not a concern now for Ohio State. They have run the last 4 or 5 plays for a very nice average.
It is a concern, however, for Michigan, because if they keep grinding it out on the ground here, there's a hard tackle by Marcus Ray on the ball carrier Pearson, but he's got his first down. If they continue at this pace, Bob, they're going to be down around maybe 3 minutes by the time they get it in the end zone. Then the time becomes critical.
If they could get it in the end zone, as I've seen the Michigan offense the last 3 series, they really look crippled.
Yep.
They don't have their inspirational leader in Howard. Their linemen are banged up.
Pearson. Josh Williams behind the line of scrimmage. Back to the 45-yard line. That's a big play. That might put him in a position where they'll force him to throw it now.
91 is Josh Williams right there. He fights off 2 men. Keller is oversized, overmatched, blocking Josh Williams.
It'll be second down and about 15. Pearson is way out top of the picture. There's a wide out. Jermaine back. Lets it go down the middle, and it is incomplete. Intended for D. Miller. At least he was the closest man to the ball. But I'm not sure that he was expecting it. It might have been Boston they had
I think he was throwing it for Boston. I think he only has eyes for Boston in that situation. And that was a dangerous throw because Boston was trying to fight his way through traffic and was not looking for the ball.
Ball is on the 45-yard line. Third down and about 5.
Third and 15.
Excuse me, 15.
You look at the short line.
15. I'm trying to count. See where they are. There's 6 up front. Now they peel off. Jermaine rolls. He's looking for Miller. He's not there. They go the other way, and it is incomplete. Intended for David Boston in front of Marcus Ray.
That was a dash route. They call it dash. Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator, getting him outside the pocket as we look at Boston still on the ground.
Bartholomew is in. Ohio State's going to punt. And Woodson goes back for Michigan. Obviously, they'd like to kill the ball down inside the 10-yard line if they can.
Well,
which means Bartholomew's going to stick it in the clouds.
Now here's the situation. There's 5 minutes and 54, almost 6 minutes left to play. Ohio State has 2 timeouts left. Obviously, they're feeling that they could kick it down there, stop Michigan, and get the ball back in plenty of time, in good field position.
Snap's good. Kick is high and hanging. Woodson comes up for a fair catch at the 17, so it's not as deep as they wanted. Michigan's ball, first down. Anthony Thomas, the freshman from Louisiana, a 220-pounder, 25-pounder, running behind Steve Hutchinson, gets a pretty good chunk right there, about 5 yards.
Michigan offense, they only run 4 or 5 different basic plays, Keith. Ohio State knows what's coming. Michigan's going to run their best play. It's just a matter who blocks it and who tackles it the best.
Backus is back in there with that sore ankle at tackle. Jeff Backus. They give him 4 yards and call it second down, a short 6. Thomas again, bouncing outside. Damon Moore coming over to help Andy Katzenmoyer. It's pretty hard to run east and west against these Ohio State linebackers. It really is.
Did a nice job of moving his line just before the snap of the ball. Messed up the blocking side.
Buckeyes have 1 timeout remaining. It is 3rd down and 7 with 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining in the ball game. Michigan 20, Ohio State 14. The Buckeyes have 1 timeout remaining. Very briefly this, if Michigan wins this football game, they're going to Pasadena. They have not had a national championship at Michigan since 1948. 3rd down and 7. They really sorely need a first down. The blitz is coming. The ball is thrown. They're lucky to get it back. My goodness, that was almost intercepted.
Tried a little quick screen, and the blitz was there.
Blitz was coming, and no chance for that thing to work at all. Almost went the other way.
Tried to get the ball to Thomas. You see Katzenmoyer right there. He was going to Thomas the whole way. Michigan fortunate that ball was not picked off.
Now it's Michigan's punter back in. Benson, his 11th punt of the day. And Gary Barry is waiting for it for Ohio State. Barry standing back just inside the 20. Low kick. Hits the ground. Tail dragger rolling toward the sidelines. No return at the 16-yard line. And a minute 35 to play in the game. If Penn State can get by Wisconsin today and Ohio State loses here, the Lions become an Alliance Bowl probability. Joe Germain under pressure, throws. It is incomplete. He threw on his way down, and Jim Kimberling says, nothing doing. You're down right here at the line of scrimmage. Glenn Steele one more time.
Glenn Steele stepping up. What is this, his 3rd sack today? He came in with 5. Big guys, big players step up in big games, and Steele has done that today.
Germain from near his goal line throws, and it is incomplete. Intended for D. Miller, and Woodson is jumping up and down. The ball went right between his hands.
Almost picked that off.
Charles almost had another one. That's a minute and 10 seconds. That little clock up there in the corner, that'll tell you your time. Ball is on the 9-yard line. It is 3rd down and 17.
Ohio State is down in the closed end where the students are, Keith. It is the loudest part of the stadium.
Pass completed to Boston. David Boston. Down at the 16 by Ian Gold. They've got to go to the 26 to get a first down.
The clock keeps running. It's not a first down, so it's 4th down.
50 seconds. Incomplete. Sam Sword almost had it, and the ball came out. Ian Gold was the man that touched it first and deflected it.
There's the 4th down play. He's going right over the middle. There are 3 or 4 Wolverines there. But he's going to Boston, his money man. And that's where all the Wolverines were.
Sam Sword almost had an interception, but it was Ian Gold in front and knocked the ball up in the air and almost tipped it back to a teammate. But it was 4th down, and Michigan owns the football down at the Ohio State 19-yard line with 23 seconds to play. Well, let's watch the play. Listen to this crowd, a record crowd.
no pressure on us. Not at all.
So Michigan goes to the Rose Bowl and are still in the hunt for their first national championship since 1948. They are 11-0. What do you say, Pop?
Well, he wanted to come back to get Michigan to the Rose Bowl. He'd be a part of that. And I'm really happy for him. I'm proud of him. I never thought a Big Ten team would go through the conference undefeated.
I didn't either. Conference too tough. But there it is.
You can't say enough about Lloyd Carr. He started off this season saying, we want to finish. We want to get to where we want to go and finish what we want to do. And he told us that yesterday, and they certainly came out here and finished.
President Jerry Ford, who once wore the maize and blue here, showed up at practice on Tuesday here in town, and he talked to the team for about 3 minutes. And he said there have been great games played in the past and great games played this year, and you've come back and survived. But, he said, there may never be one bigger than the one you will play on Saturday. For which Lloyd Carr said, thank you very much, Mr. President. However, Jerry was to some degree correct, because this is Michigan's all-time win number 775, and I agree with former President Ford. There may not have been any bigger. We hope you enjoyed it. Final score, Michigan 20, Ohio State 14. John, you all can work the rest of the day. We're going to supper.